Yeah.
I think going into the agent select here, we have the Neon, we have the Phoenix coming out from Aspas and Zekin. What are the main talking points that we had going into this?
I think it's just interesting their controller situation. If neither of these teams have swapped up, you have MIBR running that solo Harbor, Crew running that solo Viper, which is just something that's a lot harder to work around. I don't know how you feel, Sato. If they pull out a solo Viper, would your team feel comfortable doing that? We got a swap.
They heard you. They
you know
actually
what? Thankfully, because now they're not so stuck in their ways. If they throw that wall, they don't have to commit there.
I do think Harbor is the right pick for this map at the moment. I wouldn't know because I don't play this map anymore. But if I had to guess, that would be my guess.
Yeah, I really like that he is still on the chamber, Alexis.
Oh, I'm happy.
Otto was on the best.
I'm happy that Sawdog is still on the KO.
I
It seems
missed
like
it.
they really found their footing with setting up people with these flashes. I really love it.
I really like to see it. But let's get into map 1 of this series and send it over to your casters. We've got Shift and Ash on the mic.
Appreciate that, Fred Sato. Welcome to the desk, my man. Love the spice, love the hot takes. We've got day 3 of action here, upper bracket round 2. Now this starts to get a little bit hot. Crew did what they had to do. They got through the challengers team. They're able to stave off any really ugly early narratives. But now you got to find a way to go right back into Breeze, a map that they looked atrocious on just a short while ago, and take on a totally different caliber of opponent with MIBR.
They do, but there is that change that is coming in here within that composition. Let's see what the Harbor can do.
Indeed, indeed. It's time for Match Start, brought to you by Samsung OLED. And I've got to say, I love the call, pulling out the Harbor instead of the Viper here. Heat sticking out of the chamber. That's kind of what we came to know that could lead to some success for Crew. Now it just comes down to replicating it at the higher level. Here we go, upper bracket round 2. We've got MIBR taking on Crew Visa. Let's get it on.
All right. So Crew on this map.
Really not too much being shown.
I think they dropped it against 2G. It's kind of similar.
Are gonna give anything, but it's just a patient, anchored, bunkered.
It's a similar map pool, no?
Trap play off of some information.
Breeze, Sunset, and
does try
then.
to bait with that information. The time.
Sorry, it wasn't 2G. It was Bestia.
So much value.
Yeah, the knife also forces out that curveball, so forces MIBR to step up in towards A main. That will lead towards this.
So it's just a B hit right now.
Trap wire all in position.
Sawdog is way away from
defense, just
anybody.
to see how much the map MIBR can still contest, even though they are not necessarily here yet. Sarah's going to get the easy plant. Now it's down
So
to
at least the lean on defense for MIBR was towards B.
It's going to have to just be behind what they
But
do.
they're about to
Here comes the
fight. Do they know about the lurk? They don't.
For Sawdog to try to delay, but the flash
Then already
hit where it's intended to. Sarah able to find first blood.
Oh, holy whiffs!
How critical could that possibly be? Site retake is now here, but it's just
It's
down to
cruise
can they
around.
actually find eliminations, and so far it is
They
all
just took the
Crew.
most
kill
space.
feed. Sawdog's gonna find 3. Last one left alive is Tex.
Good
Nowhere to go.
trade.
Crew take the pistol.
Nicely done there by Crew. Picking up this pistol, absolutely huge for them. Again, reiterating what happened the last time we saw them.
So this time, Crew decide to decide no.
And that wrap coming in.
Crew decided that
Les there was
no
really
more
the
solo
for this
Viper.
round. Yes, Sawdog absolutely.
They
gets
finally
the
got the
frags
Harbor
on
in there.
site, But Les is the one who causes that chaos. It forces
And the crazy thing is
members
that
of
MIBR might have
look to
stratted
turn around, try
for their
and
solo
fight into
Viper.
tons, and perfectly played there by Crew.
Really
And
well
so
done.
rather than having
Also just good to kind of know the timing
less
of
on the
when they try to
Viper,
make that
they
little
have
change over towards
less
A main, the knife revealing so much
on the
earlier.
solo Harbor,
Different
which
setup,
is a
of
lot
course.
better.
MIBR just on basic pistols. You don't expect much drama here.
Already seeing a walkout into elbow there for MIBR, just searching for information on the site that they have stacked.
Opening shot for Heat goes a bit wide, but middle of the map control.
Okay,
is
well,
good for
Aspas
Crew.
has elbowed, so that
Down
means,
to how do they
and
wanna
he
use
doesn't
this as a
hear,
pivot
he doesn't
point.
see anything. He might even see the trip,
Focus on towards A main as
and
again,
so
MIBR
they're
got
already
back
leaning
down,
towards
stack this
B,
punch and see if they've guessed
which
correctly.
is a good gamble on the eco. Just
The moment's also
depends
coming out
if
at the side
Crew
of Crew,
decide
how
to eventually
MIBR
hit
are
it, because
looking
they
to
can
handle that
still go
defense, but
top
right now, MIBR
mid,
has
but they would
a
have
lot
to make a lot of
information.
noise.
With this push into elbow, it's such a comfortable hold here for Crew. But again, still
What's
on
up? What's up?
disadvantage. You see now Crew making that rotation over towards that A side.
Well, MIBR have guessed correctly. This will be a finish on towards the A site. Aspas will be way outside of the play, but could potentially go quickly to get back through mid, depending on how messy MIBR can make this hit from the front. Cove smoke is actually going to block off this entryway. That will allow an extra stack.
Oh, they don't see Phoenix. Zekin gets one. Trade, but everybody's here. They can just spam smokes. But they have worse guns. And everybody dies. NT.
Rotation coming in super late here for Ospas, trying to make his way on that pinch.
Sadhak falling, Verno's able to find a second. And now all of a sudden 2v2. Verno in some trouble. Focus is still over to his direction. He does not have
the 2v2 though, and Ospas has a bandit.
Little shoulder.
Sees them to use Zera. Does he clear? Oh,
He's able to find the finishing
touch.
Now it's just down to Verno. Not a lot of health to play with. Not a lot of hope in the tank for this one. And KRU will take the
man.
Though it was stressful.
Yeah, Verno getting a lot more than KRU anticipated, anchoring that backside of A. And we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on Ospas.
So they do damage
here on defense.
Towards the bonus round.
For him. I think
it's just about how aggressive MIBR decide to take the round.
Taking some of those risks and being the first person to look for some of that contact, but that information is definitely going to be huge when it comes down to the calling there for Mizzino. And those leans that we're seeing, those heavy stacks looking to fight forward.
Here we go, bonus round for KRU. Still gonna have a handful.
So Mizzino taking an early timing.
Over towards A main's gonna get punished by Dante.
Trying to contest the orb.
That's also
not even off the Phoenix flash.
Here. So KRU's got a lot building early in the first 30 seconds.
Extremely questionable.
Right now, MIBR see the owl drone going into L.
I mean, the round is still winnable.
Could be really good here, but regardless, is going to spot out Heat. Knowing that the chamber is lurking on the B side of the map, expecting that hit at A.
Well, the Aldrone will re-clear for KRU over towards Elbow, but MIBR once again have guessed correctly here.
I mean, they hear the neon and
not a full commitment yet for KRU.
The KO.
Throwing the knife doesn't really reveal much of anything.
But so it's just two players.
Still a difficult decision to make here if you're KRU. Are we actually going to on towards A, or are we going to try to take
They're
a
going to rotate to B.
No,
it's an open B site with one trip.
They've cleared out the Elbow.
Valorant, right? What's your favorite team? My favorite team right now
this pinch to the A side of the map. Instead,
has to be Envy.
All of MIBR are waiting.
Is Verno going to disrespect
I actually think that Envy is going to win against Sen.
Be called out for the attack. KRU able to get on towards site. Dante, lots of information towards the back. Relay bolt will be
sent. But is there not format contest? Let's get two. Round is over.
Trying to challenge.
Yo, we gotta subscribe.
Verno to hold for a moment. It's just not for long enough. KRU's going to take the bonus, and already through 3 rounds,
on
they've
YouTube.
matched the talent that they were able to earn versus Bestia just a couple days ago.
Really nicely done, splitting into A there. MIBR, they had 4 players on site waiting in the wings for KRU's execution. The timing was perfect coming out from Heat on that flank on top of just the opening that we saw less fine through mid doors.
Well, so far, 3 rounds in, hard to really kind of sell anything to you guys right now, but for the moment, MIBR are having a really tough time on the 2 peaks that they've put together.
Zekin is the only one to get his ult first.
And that has allowed KRU to find success.
Verno is 2 away.
Getting on to none other than that A site. Sheriffs will largely be in play here for MIBR. There is a running back available for a second if things get interesting, but for KRU, this is about, again, just build the banks, cross your T's, dot your I's, don't do anything crazy, don't scam, don't make a mistake, and cruise your way to a 4-0 start.
Heat on the scoped weapons has constantly been a problem for the teams that KRU face on the attacking side ever since that chamber has been picked up.
Oh, and they see the rifle on the barrel.
Oh,
comes through to find one.
Tex does get a kill.
Not able to slip away though. Good spam from Zera. Make sure that Tex cannot escape. And that's a lot of information for KRU that, yep, there are more than a couple of players here at the cross at A doors. So that will lead to a very quick entry in towards B, and this post plant will be very difficult in the 3v4 for MIBR to break down.
Yeah, you have Heat also positioned into Nest, actually looking to cut off the rotation, not looking to guard the weapon. I believe that Might actually be able to be picked up here into
heard it,
mid.
though.
Has been tossed
Oh,
away.
timing.
Timing on that. He's able to find one. Can't quite connect on to Verno for this.
He's gonna peek. He's gonna get the kill.
Trap is in, and
Wow.
will only drop
Flawless
one in
round
the
from
process.
KRU
This
on
is
Breeze.
night and day different than how
This
they
is
were
what I
approaching that
imagined.
game a
They
couple weeks ago.
prepped for the solo
Absolutely huge
Viper to
investment
punish
coming
it,
in from KRU.
but they
Just
changed their
within
comp.
A couple of days, like you were mentioning, it does help when MWSR is going 9-0
Yeah, that helps.
for
Yeah,
certain.
that definitely helps.
If I'm an MIBR fan,
overall,
am
We have
I?
to remember, this is a crew that has been
Am I feeling
rejuvenated
doomer?
ever since their first win before heading into play-ins. Continuing forward with that kind of momentum. Meanwhile, MIBR, they're still trying to pave their way also into playoffs, the first match that we're seeing from them here today.
Here we go.
Another contest. I mean, KRU just have the spam lines. You are not gonna get your orb in A.
I mean, we'll talk about it a lot throughout this match. As a first blood warrior,
Do you know what's a free
he's been
orb?
undeniable this stage. The fact that
B?
Aspus is 0-5, 3 of those deaths have been in the first essential 30 seconds of rounds, is so jarring to watch.
The other thing too is, aside from some of those trap plays that we saw set up for A main, those initial peaks are often unassisted in some of those moments. It kind of brings me back to that one round where we
Pretty
saw
slow play.
Mizzino
Why
going
is
for a very
Zekin making
similar
that
flame
face?
disconnected.
Oh,
Might be
yeah. Why
out.
is he making that face?
Definitely looking to tighten things up when it comes down to some of these duels that they're taking together.
Yeah, I mean, so far, every single trap play towards A main has been a complete and utter fail. And it's just not at all what this game plan was meant to be. So, null command's going to be spent. That will allow KRU to jump on towards this A site pretty freely. Most of the defense not affected by the null command could still try to influence this post plant just a touch by contesting with a little bit of utility behind this water
The
wall.
4v5.
We'll get the plant. You've got
I
all
mean,
four players
it might be our need to win this round. They pop ult.
Flashing his way in, not anything.
Gets tagged immediately.
Follow up, Sodhawk right there to stop. Fragment in the back corner. Just trying to distract and deter the concentrated setup of MIBR, who are now making their way back over towards the outside portion, towards the spike. Can they put pressure
Off
on
of
towards the spike
spam.
itself?
But they're not ready for the op.
Cove will be placed
Oh,
instead.
Verno
MIBR
might have
finding
saved the
eliminations. Verno almost
round.
able to find a double, but not quite. Heat and
Almost
trouble here,
finishes the
stands away,
op.
and Dante almost able to turn that into a double, but no, instead it's second.
Oh,
A little
second
1v2
save
at
the
the end for
round.
him, and MIBR finally on the board.
Much needed round there for MIBR. Definitely an expensive one to come away with, but Operator at least saved into the next round here as well. But these main plays are gonna be something we're gonna have to fix up. Unfortunately, there's a little team flash situation in that moment. But I also think that what KRU are doing so well is when it comes down to the utility that Sodhawk is throwing, that 0 point, it's also making it really awkward for MIBR to try and play that trap play in mid too, because they're trying to get the right timing. And Sodhawk is so good at juggling different timings with that 0 point, with those refights. And it definitely gets tough to get aggressive there.
That was a very critical round for MIBR to be able to take. Otherwise, you lose that, you're on a bit of a save. And you're probably hitting the timeout button to talk about what
MIBR
is
definitely
going wrong.
needed that
Instead,
round.
Now you've got full purchase. Hunter's Fury at the ready, and Auspice has been able to earn themselves an operator. Mizzino able to find first blood from the back side of the A site on this entryway. That will take down Sodhawk. So
taking a lot of space,
or at least
and there's going to be a retake through double door. Mizzino's literally the only one in backside.
Positioning there for less on that flank as well. It does get caught out.
I mean, drone on a good timing too.
A lot of information. He is going
Good
to be
flash.
absolutely required to do something incredible here. Double
Yep, punish off.
Easy for Zekin to find that pick. Auspice
Dante on a timing.
That much more favorable for
Oh,
Dante,
and he
the
whiffed.
secret agent behind the play.
He whiffed.
Had so much to focus on. Couldn't find anything in a
He
flawless
whiffed.
second round for MIBR.
3 takes now looking much more comfortable for MIBR. When we saw those early aggressive rounds, it was KRU who were coming out on top when it came down to those first bloods. This adjustment working out nicely. Now it's on KRU's shoulders to find the answer back.
Great stuff. Okay. So now that we've seen MIBR be able to throw in the operator to the monkey wrench of the system here towards what has been going wrong towards the opening portion of this defense. Yeah, I was going to say it might be time for KRU to talk about it, because the first bloods, if they're not going to be coming by way of shutting down these trap plays, maybe there's something different that needs to happen. But no, not attack pause, tech pause instead. But the question still stands. How does KRU want to try to handle getting those early advantages now that they have to fight into the operator?
That's the tough part. I think that when it comes down to Ospas's positioning, we are going to see either Verno or Zekin look to set him up on some of those deeper lines. I do think, though, my eyes always get drawn over to Heat. He's been so good at winning out those duels on the attacking side, especially once he has that scope of his own in his hands. Yep. Does have the funds for it into this round as well. Definitely could be the answer to see who wins out in that head-to-head.
Yeah, for me, it looks like you can classify MIBR as having the alpha and the omega. Auspis has been the first blood warrior for MIBR. He's definitely been the one to set the tone. But on the backside, when things start to go awry, Verno has been undeniable out of the clutch.
Yes.
Like
damn, we got a tech pause?
Clutches,
come on.
which is still a pretty insane number when you think about it, considering that he's often one of the last ones left alive. So the fact that you've got that much of a wager into Verno being able to still secure you around against numbers is great news. So MIBR have a lot to play off of when it comes to getting into full force. It's just down to they are one of the worst teams through stage 2 at playing at an eco disadvantage, which has been obviously a bit of a key towards why this half has started the way it has. But now that they're fighting at full force, this is where we start to really feel the power that MIBR have been able to build throughout stage 2.
And MIBR, they're also this roster where you do not want them to start heating up into this.
Damn, is Verno tilted?
Once you have players like Aspas, like Zekin coming online, things definitely start to get scary.
There we go. Let's put the lock back on in. Monitors back on. That's important. 2 post-plant retakes for MIBR. Full purchase still available for KRU, and we've got a lot of ultimates that could potentially come to play here. Hunter's Fury for both sides, Reckoning for both sides, Overdrive nearly for both sides. So even battle just comes down to the decision of who wants to use what and when. And off the get-go, once more this chamber utility continues to come over towards B. Defensive Hunter's Fury coming out, trying to isolate over towards the elbow.
Trade.
But even though Verno connects,
I mean, they
it's gonna be a
spot
trade from
Heat.
Heat. So we're going to get a 4v4. But the Reckoning is no longer on the table for KRU if they want to use that as a post-plant security measure or as an opportunity to execute.
See the shift over from KRU with the insert still Heat being on the left side of the map. Operator is still waiting in the wings there over at Tons. Might not be watching main, but Aspas will turn once the execution does come in full force.
Lots of trust that Tex can hold behind what is just a single trap at the front doors at B. Aspas would have to move quickly.
All right, we're
Get
good.
the heck out of there.
So in a 4v4, Mazzino has ult, but he's not in a position
Also,
to be able
down that Tex can play off of.
to potentially use it
Timing, but doesn't get Dante on the corner.
until they
How
retake.
key is that? Dante able to shut down Tex. Auspis will retreat back over towards the arches. Defense rotating in.
30 seconds left.
Does Mazzino try to find a way to drop this Reckoning early to get Verno onto the site a little bit faster, but you don't even need to because Sadok will drop to the shock dart.
Okay, are they ready for the op? It's op the up.
Break down the site. Overdrive for
Aspas
Dante,
is one away from ult.
and that's going to be enough
Damn,
for Verno
through
just to spam through
spam.
the wall and find the connection. How about that from Verno? 3v2. Zera playing deep does have the Hunter's Fury for post-plant security. Heat would have to still force the play off the spike first and foremost. There's the Hunter's Fury queued.
Oh, they spot the op.
To find one, and now they know exactly where Zera's positioned. You can stick onto this. Aspa's holding. Zera needs to be able to find the first. He is back to the pistol.
And with enough time.
Verno,
Wow.
and MIBR will get 3 in a row.
Insane coming out from Verno.
Good job from
Previously,
Aspas.
the IGL here for MIBR. Mazzino has since picked up that responsibility, and ever since then, Verno being let off of his leash, he has been absolutely lights out, being able to focus on those micro gameplay
Yeah, that spam was crazy.
How big, though, not only is Verno be able to find the eliminations, but to start things off by breaking off the post plant with the shock darts. Undeniable
Sunlight,
stuff.
sunlight,
KRU
sunlight.
dealing with some trouble. They will have the ability to full purchase, and they will have a tour de force with that Reckoning that was earned from the last round. So with that, let's see how KRU try to bounce back with the KRU listening.
Dante flash aqui. Quebra o spot alguém? Alguém fica chicken?
É, o Dante fica.
Tá,
Marca você, Hit, então, aí?
Aham, provando. Tô no pilar.
Guy, vamos correr pra esquerda agora.
Tá bom.
Juntos.
Seems like
Dante, eu
they're
acho que você não tá
contacting
nada, viu? Você
Tá.
tá
2
deixando
passive
passar.
teams versus
Vou
2
entrar na cama aí.
passive
Tô
teams.
sentindo no meu Big Lau. Tá,
Já
beleza.
tô pronto pra paredar.
Tá. Vamos fazer agora então.
Vou fazer então, bora?
Pera a parede primeiro. Faz a parede. Vai. Vai, stuna. Zonear.
Up e-mail.
Op just misses.
Câmera aqui.
Maybe off of a timing.
Tem que ir, ó, isso.
É, Fênix e
Calma,
Cypher
depois
aparece.
É, isso aí, vamos na manhã.
They spawn
Vamos na
Phoenix.
manhã aqui.
Ó, entra nessa boca, contato
Tá.
e você vai depois.
Spot Sova.
Calma,
Mandaram,
Vai
bagulho.
ter 4 aí, guys.
I think the Sova. Oh, what is happening? He's just full blind.
Cypher. Foi botado. Botou na smoke.
Tá, calma. Não consigo te ajudar, velho.
Texture's bunkering down on
Deixa
site.
de tal só.
30 seconds left.
What a weird wall.
Player standing.
Ah, pegou na passagem.
And Texture's just playing his life.
Valeu.
Well, the hot start for KRU has been immediately counteracted, and maybe there is some proof in the pudding here, not only because Auspice has been able to connect with the operator, but honestly, MIBR just staying alive as 5 beyond the first 30 seconds of the round.
It has been really tough for KRU. They haven't really been able to force any of those early fights out from MIBR to get the picks necessary to be an advantage early into that post plant, even before getting that spike down. The adjustment coming out from MIBR. The Minazino has called for these retakes. Has looked so good. And now timeout to be called on the side of KRU.
Yeah. Lots to talk about here, I think, if you're KRU, because, yes, now we're starting to see 5v5 action unfold underneath a minute to play. With MIBR not trying to throw those same kind of threatening double duelist trap plays, we've seen KRU take the more labored, slow approach. Can we find a way to still break down this defense, push and pull them around the map a little bit, put pressure through mid? It's been there. It just hasn't led to the same success that they had, obviously, in the first 4 rounds. On the flip side, you talk about this most recent round, hey, we're going to try to play with some speed of our own, see if we can kind of catch the defense off guard before they can rotate in. But the problem is, you're getting so much value from Mizzino in these high tides and these coves that are just completely slowing down from KRU from getting beyond the A site, that players like Mizzino, players like Tex in that last round, feel so comfortable in the back of the site. So there is something that KRU need to find out in terms of not just getting on, but can we do some damage to get beyond the lengths of the actual site itself to put extra pressure on the defense trying to rotate in to help.
It's either that or the other option would be really, again, relying on those lurks. Late flanks coming in that we've seen previously from Les going for those backstabs. Something where KRU have made the adjustment to give the respect in that regard into those post plans because MIBR were showing that they're willing to re-clear the space.
Yeah. And honestly, since MIBR have been at full force, they really haven't rotated through mid at all. They just rotated through their spawn and just reinforced from the back of the site. So it's been very easy in certain regards for MIBR right now. Very similar look in terms of how KRU come out of spawn. Heat still just trying to find some information with this op on the B side of the map, but this once again looks like it's just going to be a hard commit into A.
You do have null command available here for Sadak. That's why you're seeing the entire team of KRU looking to group up as 5.
There's the offensive high tide followed by the null
Oh, did it not tag him? It did tag him, but it counted as a
couple of tags, couple of spams coming through.
Trade off the reload.
Les gives another one over to KRU, taking Auspice out of the picture. Verno's in some
Trying to dig out
but he's able to
Sadak. And Sadak's ult just ended. That's crazy.
Great stuff coming through to at least keep the defense in a position to try to fight this back, but easier said than done. Zekin is back into the picture. Has a lot of tools to play
in a
with.
2v3.
One away from the run it back. Les, though, does have the reckoning if everything
Trying to see if there's any flanks, any inserts.
And it's going to spend it
They're in
early.
space.
Being able to connect. Rendezvous away.
And
Zero able to
unlucky.
follow up. That's more like it if you're KRU breaking up the 4 rounds in a row. And KRU up into the lead 5-4.
Nicely done there on the side of KRU. Also want to just give a huge shout out to how well these initiators are performing for both sides. Verno and MW Zera, top leaderboard, absolutely owning right now.
Oh.
Still was able to get one before MW Zera took him out.
Yeah, KRU vibing with that one. That's exactly what you need. Zera is 13-4 after his 9-0 start, having himself a heck of a first half. Ospas looking to challenge a little bit early here over towards A. Coves will be exchanged. Flash comes through with the flashpoint. Verno feeling the pressure, has the Hunter's Fury, tags once onto Dante, trying to find the next connection, not going to happen. And the offense will go back to splitting things up with a minute 20 on the clock.
Different setup this time around from Tex on the side of MIBR. More than happy to play that
So the
retake
cam
protocol alongside that
on
right
Texas
back there
setup
for Zekin.
is looking at
I don't know if they're
mid.
going to anticipate
Yep.
Zera playing
And
in
it gets
this
broken
position.
by
Aldrin was
MW
meant to
Zera.
flush out mid.
But they're leaving
Instead, Zera's
Nest.
hearing all of this
They're
rotation,
leaving Nest open.
and now is
Even though they
technically
cleared the
behind play.
cam.
And it looks like KRU
Huh?
may try to put some pressure from the front of B to see if Zera can maybe get around the back through arches.
The walk-up is going to come in. You have Dante on the other side of the map just causing all of this disruption.
That
See?
is brilliant from KRU.
So Neon is just creating a distraction.
Now you have to try to
Pretty much is Zekin having an anchor.
Thinking between two poisons, and
Oh,
that's not
and he
enough.
does.
MIBR
He
is
anchors.
finding all the individual 1v1s across the map. This is falling apart.
But they trade
Looks like to be
Zekin.
a perfect setup for KRU.
It's 3v2.
They can't even get the plant off right now.
Oh,
gonna be
Les
called
is
upon
ahead
to
of the
find
timing.
first. Tex gets the response.
Time.
That's gonna come through. It's just Sadok left
Time.
with 1v2 and not able to find the connection.
Oh.
And that is a complete folly from KRU after what looked to be a masterful setup.
That was an insane insert that we saw from KRU, getting MW Zera into that position. Definitely tough to not be able to take this round away. And it also relied on Dante on the other side of the map. He was trying to keep that presence over at the A side, but MIBR had such a firm understanding of what the mind games were on the side of KRU.
I mean, kind of. It's just the fact that KRU are so slow to hit through B main that it puts Zera into this really impossible situation of he's got to worry about Tex through arches, you got to worry about any defenders coming from A, and honestly, Tex is getting away with way too much lease on life by sitting in the back of the site right there, not getting any pressure from KRU from the front. It's a big mishap for KRU, who are now finding themselves on a bit of a broken bye. There's a stinger in hand for Sadhawk.
Ospas.
A quick commitment. KRU are just going to dive on towards the A side behind this high
what an
tide,
angle.
but they don't have any
Gets a
distraction to
second.
pull Auspice off the corner. Overdrive
Dodges
is
the
out.
op shot.
Relay pull
About to isolate the only player on site. And Ospas is about to ace.
Spike now down, and KRU are crumbling behind the defensive pressure of MIBR.
Damn, let Ospas
Flawless
ace.
round there for MIBR, and an Ospas that went absolutely nuclear with that overdrive. When it comes down to the rosters that Ospas has been on ever since he debuted on the big stage alongside Loud, he has attended every single champions within VCT. He's been there with Sadok and Les, as well as Tex and Mizuno.
That's another round right there for KRU where it just doesn't feel as well coordinated as it needed to be. The high tide is out, but your Hunter's Fury is late. You don't clear off the angle that Ospas is holding.
Oh.
Just feels a little bit skittish right now for KRU. MIBR putting it together.
Outlaw.
Misunderstands the situation. We're on
Mizuno
light
gets
armor,
out.
So we pull out the Outlaw. Another first blood tallied. Mizuno able to get the second behind that. And KRU are stuck just
I mean, this is a wrapped up round for MIBR.
Here front side today.
Plant will go down. Aldrone gonna spot out at least 1 to 2 players here, and
Unless.
Dante taking out Ospas is definitely huge to try and equalize as far as the numbers that are close by sight.
Oh man.
Oh, what a
With
shot.
shock dart.
But it's
Needed to
traded.
find second, though, right
Or
before
at least the
curveball
shock dart is
flex
traded.
His sight. 2 versus 3, still doable for KRU. But you have to hold. There's the defensive recon pulled out.
Do they know?
Personal finds the first. Does not initially
Oh.
snap for the second, and Verno
See,
finds the trade. Just down to
what a
Heat.
guardian.
Timing. Not
And
gonna be
Verno's
there.
ready.
Verno will find 3 in the
Verno's
round,
ready.
and MIBR will finish off a 7-5 half after dropping the first 4 rounds.
Really lovely tempo change there with the defensive-sided aggression coming out from MIBR. The conditioning when it came down to those retakes where they were playing so bunkered on site, leading up into this final round where they pressed that go button. And KRU, they weren't ready for it. It was also a tough position, granted, in that post plant with the high tide coming through. MW Zera, he wasn't going to be able to have that support from Heat in the post plant with that vision being cut off.
But so far, MIBR, big bounce back after the hot crew start. We'll swap the sides to see if MIBR can take their map, or does crew have something cooked? We'll find out when we come back after this.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of Verizon customers.
Oh, you got the free Verizon tickets too?
No, I'm with amazing seats.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And even pitch-side access.
Are you? David Beckham.
A Verizon customer.
This used to be for players. Now it's for Verizon customers. No one gets you closer. Only on Verizon.
All right, so Aspas, I like to ask this question because, you know, there's a lot of incredible things that you've accomplished. What is the one thing that you wish you could accomplish, or rather experience again, but for the first time?
Winning champs.
Winning champs? Yeah, and like, what was it about that moment? Obviously the winning and hoisting that trophy over your head, but can you describe like what that feeling was in that moment when you did finally win that trophy?
I think I was very young at the time, and I didn't have like much of a feeling. I was just like, wow, we won. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
So
would you do it differently this time around?
Probably my reaction will be different now.
Okay. All right. So now he just needs to win champs again, which, hey, I think that could very well happen.
So wholesome.
Welcome back. Upper bracket round 2 matchup. MIBR after facing the early force of crew. 0-4 in the first 4 rounds, where Auspice was 0-5 overall through the first 5. They come back with a fury, change up the tempo a little bit on the defense, and have a 7-5 advantage as we swap sides. And now an opportunity for them to get aggressive on the attack. And you got to keep your eye on these double duelists. They're about to go bananas.
That they definitely are, especially when we know that there is going to be that focus for MIBR, trying to cycle into that run it back as often as possible there for Zekin. Alrighty. In the last half, we saw crew come out on top when it came down to those first engagements. And it was consistently that multi-kill, just firepower frag potential that was bringing rounds back there for MIBR, on top of the synergy that we've seen from them in those fast floods, something that we know they're going to be able to replicate here on the attacking side.
After a little team huddle for MIBR in their spawn, looks like they're going to make their way up in towards the elbow entryway and then eventually over to B. Crew have guessed on this A stack. Heat does not have his rendezvous down yet. High tide will come through, and that'll be enough for Heat to just get out of there and wait for help to rotate in. This should be a very quick plant for MIBR.
Good reposition there coming out from Heat to ensure that he will be alive for the fight later on, but keep an eye on Tex, especially when you have MW Zera looking to re-clear into mid. That's going to be an important interaction.
The offensive cove will go down, trying to stall out crew for as long as possible.
Damn.
Seconds able to find first blood.
Dante tried to take a timing.
At least clear out the tunnel though. Now 2
through
points
the
of ingress
molly.
can start to occur here.
Either that or he's about to
Be
entry.
destroyed. Now it's up on the action through the cove. It doesn't get reinforced. Zekin able to
Team
find one
fights.
behind the play, aiming to now able to get another on top of that. Still dealing with
the
some
last
pressure,
two.
but MIBR have the perfect crossfire. Crew just could not get back onto site. MIBR take the pistol.
Okay,
Really great
MIBR adjusted.
communication
They're
coming out
down
there from
4-0 at one
MIBR,
point.
ensuring that they can find those fights together as crew look to flood in. Especially after Tex goes down into mid.
Bro thought he
denying
could
that
live.
opportunity for the relurk to come on in. Because at first, with the fast flood, it started to look like it was in crew's favor, but I feel like Zekin being able to stay alive on pillar there was also a huge position to be able to ensure that crew wouldn't find that footing.
Whoa, what a weird.
Right there for your MIBR because of Tech's position, you
I was
still
about to
put so
say,
much pressure
they
on
were
Arches
about to
that you're
have
able
3
just back
pistols
up
and
in
2
toward the main
rifles.
entryway and still use your choke points beautifully.
Second so low already.
So great stuff for MIBR.
Sonic has to get a god timing.
Stuck on basic pistols once again. MIBR huge advantage. Kind of the same story that we talked about for crew in the first half. Just don't scam, don't make any critical errors, and you should be walking away with the 9th round here.
patiently played right now by MIBR. You have Tex, who has threaded the needle on Heat.
Well, defense is going to rotate over quickly. Tex
here's this.
able to find the first. Now it's just about how much more can you grab.
He doesn't know about.
Not expect that Zera was playing.
Bro, that second shot is crazy.
It's a really quick trade. KRU's going to use that as
an
an
alarm
alarm system.
Gonna timing peek. 1, 2, 3.
Sothok trying to cut it off. There's the time. He looked for the right click, but
yeah,
the damage does not allow much more than just a health pool.
I mean, if he got Zekin, then you probably would have killed him. Because Zekin was low. He didn't have any
I
shields.
like this from KRU. I don't think
So it's a little unlucky.
that many players coming in from the flank, but still you have.
Wow, they have the read. They assume flank.
It should be impossible for KRU to find purchase.
It's just down to can you quickly clear
They're
out some of
gonna
the MIBR
jiggle.
players from the front side at B main. Maybe
Just saw
steal the
two.
weapon back. Could be an opportunity. Heat in some trouble. Mizzino still holding him in the corner. Recon bolt through. Hot hands comes up and
Damn,
over.
all the util.
And then the Reboy bolts behind this. This is taking a lot
They had
of
to shoot
time.
their way
KRU are
out.
Still stuck at the choke point, and now MIBR are fully
No way, he
aware of
thinks-
what's happening. Heat able to get one in response.
He
but
drops
that
a
is mere
pistol.
footnote
Not too
in
bad,
what
not
is
too
a very
bad.
convincing MIBR round.
Not too bad.
Starting up here for MIBR.
Damn, I might need to stand
kicked off
up.
this map, winning 4 rounds in a row before MIBR clap back to be able to take the lead for themselves as well.
Larry Zekin.
Man,
He could have been
honestly,
right-clicked and
that's
died.
just- Valorant's a horror movie sometimes. You
Can't
got
be.
people jump through smokes.
Now, this is a must-win round right here for KRU. Going into a bonus round that's not going to feel like a bonus round for MIBR, mostly due to the fact they all have rifles.
Oh,
And
Ospas. When's the first duel?
You get an Ospas first blood onto Dante. Sure, Sothok's going to get some information off of the knife, and it may slow down any potential play, but MIBR are going to take their numbers and now start to push-pull the defense around the map.
He hears the camera in elbow, knows the
Oh,
trend,
Les
he's outside of the
and
as well.
Sothok
Will MIBR
get a
look to check him?
trade.
Yeah.
But
Trades in
regardless,
favor
Reese
of
makes
MIBR,
it
and
here.
it's
For
probably going to be
MIBR,
a
they're
bonus
more than
round
happy to
win.
shift back to that A site.
Yeah, that's just not a fight that I think KRU was anticipating having right there, trying to play a
Yeah, and
double
it's an
stack
open
in
A
through
site.
mid. Maybe you're anticipating somebody up close on the turret. but
And the last two
you're
have
not
to
anticipating
try to
getting long-range
save.
battles like that, down numbers.
2v4 might be winnable,
The fast lane will go
especially
up,
since
crossing
NW
T's,
Zero
99s
has
here,
full
MIBR
util.
making sure that they get a completely
They're
free
probably not
site.
going to try it.
And now all of a sudden, what started off as what was a must-win round, it felt like for KRU, now you're just saving rifles.
I think the tough thing when it comes down to this composition here, very much similar to the issue that we had with the solo Viper, is just the amount of coverage you're going to be able to provide for your team, right? When we do see the solo smokes come out on
Bro, got
this map
spotted
of
by the
Reese,
can,
it's
still
usually
got hit by the
supplemented
trip.
by a Cypher who can have the cyber cages to be able to provide those crosses, especially over in mid. And if not the Cypher, then you usually have a Phoenix. So you have like the double wall when it comes down to those duelists. And for KRU, there's just too much ground that Les does have to cover with that utility. There's so much investment into this composition with MW Zera and Sothok both being on that KO and Sova to simply be setting up Dante and Heat for success in the early rounds.
Yeah, I think the other side of this, talking about the composition, let's just talk about the chamber. You know, it feels like just kind of watching KRU in the last couple of weeks, and I think especially watching them on Thursday, and hearing their reactions, it's Heat is good with op, so put him on agent that gets op more often. Problem is, he hasn't had an opportunity to really dominate the same way that he was versus Bestia. Now, granted, this is on Breeze. This is a map that they really, really struggled with on Thursday, so we're not going to like sit here and say that it's done deal, but in terms of that X factor,
Yeah, that
they
reminds
tried to
me. I was
build
going to
in,
look
Heat
up
has not been a part
what map pool
of the
did
success
KRU play
recipe as
last
of yet. And
time.
again, 4 out of the 5 rounds for KRU have been
KRU against
tallied by
Bestia,
way
they
of shutting down
played
early
Breeze,
aggression chances
Sunset,
from
and
MIBR.
Summit.
Run it back, going to be spent here early. Second will be
Of course,
denied.
KRU
Will come
lost
away
to
the benefactor of
Bestia.
the opening trades, but there's still
They
so
wanted to
much
give
early
up
pressure for
Breeze.
MIBR, getting not just onto site, but trying to do a little bit more than that. The KRU are well and
Ospas?
truly prepared for it
Oh,
until
Ospas.
is able to get to and bring this to a 2v2. And Ospas isn't done
And
yet,
Ospas
but
Swiss.
Les will put him
Mizzino
down.
has the clutch.
Down to Mizzino. Has the reckoning if he wants it.
Yeah.
First shot, Les puts him away, and KRU get another one on the
Yikes.
board.
One that they really needed as well when you're taking a look at that economy.
Yikes.
You're being stuck in kind of that cycle of having to save those eco rounds coming through, not really being able to get anything started. So being able to get this round win does add that additional security to the bank that is for certain.
Yikes.
Mid-round adaptations have been looking really good coming out from Sadok throughout the last couple of matches that we've seen from KRU. And this is a squad that has historically continuously struggled on Breeze. And it was always an identity problem, trying to figure out what composition works well for them.
Watch out for these pings that are coming through right now, though, for KRU defensively. Looks like there may be some sort of an early high tide and then a dash up from Dante. He's able to get over. Recon Bolt will come through first. No reveal there. Oh, and they're holding on to a Reckoning.
KRU are preparing for aggression. They're just contacting, walking up, not really taking any space.
Instead, you're going to get a deep
Expecting players in elbow. They're here too. At least they should have here too.
Really nice timing on the call from Mazino for the walk back up here.
Oh shoot, why am I saying KRU? I mean MIBR. MIBR is expecting players in elbow.
I'll drone to try to follow. Good early information. This will allow KRU a chance to contest the spike plant for the first time, but Zek and Mazino.
Oh, but they already have a player backside.
And now Verno's deep in the backside of the site. And there's just no way, if you're Sadok, you feel comfortable taking any extra peeks right now. But at a certain point, you have to create something out of nothing.
So the issue that round, which probably could have made it a little bit more advantageous for KRU, is if he isn't playing a passive angle on A. He takes a little bit of aggression, and takes more space in A main and sees there's nobody there, then they can lean towards other places.
Really nicely done there by MIBR. Heads up from Zekin as well. Just the game sense to be aware that with how those two high tides were interacting, he was expecting someone to be creeping in through
again, on the mini-map,
sort of
he just takes too much space a little bit late.
And KRU, while we have seen improvements from them on this map of Breeze, MIBR continue to just look that much more comfortable.
And if MIBR,
do your best, Mario.
If MIBR,
we're gonna work on that one.
Sorry, what am I saying? MIBR, and they're pretty good at team fighting, re-fighting against the space.
Do or die moment starting to build now all of a sudden. Plenty of ultimates to still consider, though. I mean, you've got the Hunter's Fury at the ready, you've got the Reckoning, you're really close to the Tour de Force, so there could be some opportunity there. But here's a look at Aspas. We were kind of floating the conversation point. Yeah, of course, you look at the top 1.7 KDA, insane, but for me, it's the first blood success. He has often been a part of what that first contact looks like, and being able to come away as an entryman with more than half of the time finding at least your one, that's an insane number and one of the key recipes for why MIBR have found success through Stage 2.
And more insane of a number when you kind of contextualize it with the fact that for Aspas, he was always kind of known as that quote-unquote baiting duelist, playing a little bit more passive, right? So to go and lean into this role where he is going to be that tip of the spear and adjust so well where he has a performance like this is really refreshing to see coming out from him.
Without question. There may be some early aggression here. MIBR maybe being able to tally that KRU are going to be on a limited purchase, so let's just not even give them a chance to get a read on us. That's exactly what comes through. Les is outside
through the chaos.
Throw the wall up, trying to find first
some
contact,
trades.
doesn't really work out all that well. Dante, if he could find one more, would have an overdrive.
And he gets spammed down.
And KRU will be in
I mean, Dante is just not getting away with the things that he's normally gets away with.
Does connect. The spike is down.
Spike down, 3v3. Second one away. And Verno has his timing. Yep. Second gets his ult. Spot the op. Timing with a stinger.
No way.
But Tex is in a good position until he sees heat.
Verno playing deep, Tex playing on an island. Isolation trying to come through. Tex.
Oh, timing.
Perfect in MIBR. Get to match point.
Clinical micro from Tex and Verno to get to match point. To be able to get those one immediately in quick succession. Nicely done there. Tough, not in position to be able to trade each other out, and they make the most of it. KRU There's rotations through mid. We've seen them look to clear out that space.
Wow, that's a good angle to hold.
Not necessarily expecting it that time around. It's been tough. I feel like we've seen them fight a little bit more forward. We've seen them go for those more retake scenarios, but
Elbow clears. Oh, camera kills elbow.
Has been
Aspas on the entry. Whoa, holy. GPU.
Sadok is out of the picture. Hunter's Fury just to block off
Les might get tagged.
Quick plant for MIBR.
Les doesn't get tagged, but there are 2 players in elbow.
And Zekit has a read, but doesn't find the first shot.
Oh, what a shot. And the last player gets pinched. And that might be it.
And now the last legs for KRU here on Breeze.
That might be
by
it.
way of Heat and Les. Reckoning sent out over towards the sidewall. Aspas able to find the first. Mazzino
That might
the
be
final.
it.
MIBR, after a bit of a stumble in the first 4 rounds, come through, take care of business, and steal away the opener with some conviction, 13-6.
After a strong start there, a 4-0 for KRU to kick things off. They look like a rejuvenated team here on Breeze. We're definitely seeing the adaptations that they're looking to make, but still not being able to find, I think, the identity that they're looking for on this map.
I think the other point, too, is just like MIBR, you got to remember they didn't have to take a timeout at any point throughout this map, which is, I won't say like impressive, but it just goes to show that they had a protocol built in mind, like, okay, we're going to try to run this Phoenix Neon trap play at A throughout the majority of the first 5 rounds. And if it doesn't work, we know what our backup plan is. And that comes through absolutely perfectly. They only dropped 1 more round defensively after that first 4. And now an opportunity to possibly quickly clean up KRU. MIBR take their map picks. Sunset to come up next after this.
That's crazy. I just thought of a command. I just thought of a command for chat. What is it called? Oh, that's what it's called. So MIBR win on Breeze, which is kind of a gimme. I mean, last time KRU lost 13-3 against Bestia. It's going to be interesting how these two teams play, because they're all in the lower bracket, which means that one team is going to survive, one team's going to go home. And for the most part, I think it's M80 and 2G. M80, 2G. No, it's not 2G. M80 Bestia. And then 2G. Let me check. Actually, let me check before I say. Oh, I forgot. They don't play against each other. They play the losers of these games. So I know M80 plays the loser of Furia. No. Actually, let me check my pickups. My pick'em. Oh, they play the loser of G2 Furia. Bestia play the loser of EG Cloud9. And then (2G) faces the loser of EG Sentinels. Or sorry, Envy Sentinels. And then KRU, no, Flu Show. Flu Show played the loser of this game.
Shut down. Dante will get 2.
All right, Coach Fraud. Look, one thing is for certain. We looked at the map vetoes and we were like, This looks kind of good for MIBR. Was that the vibe that you got as well? And if so, how do you guys close this thing out?
Yeah, I mean, we really like the veto for sure. We think that, yeah, they maybe had a different idea in what they wanted to do, but for us, like, these are some of our strongest maps, so we're really fortunate that they picked Breeze, a map we really like, and they left Sunset open. So for us, we're just looking to close this out 2-0. But ultimately, they're a really good team. It's just, yeah, we really like these maps. They're perfect for us.
Yeah, anything that could be a potential setback for you guys if you're not too careful about it in regards to KRU at the very least?
Well, I mean, they did change their comp on Breeze. So we do know that they like to change up quite a bit. Sadak and Les, they like to adapt and change up their game plans, try and like trip us up a little bit. So I think for us, we just, yeah, just talk about all the options that we have and pick which ones we feel like they're going to be better against them.
All right, always a pleasure, my friend. Yeah, catch you soon.
MIBR happy with those vetoes, and it showed because in that first map of Breeze, they took it away. Guys,
W
what, is this like a
Sato.
warm-up or what's going on?
We're just building our team chem.
Yeah, exactly.
Team chem, got it. Well, team chem is something that MIBR actually had a lot of. They won so many of those post plans. They were also really good on their retakes. The map MVP going towards Verno, I think that makes a lot of sense. But MIBR, they looked really strong with this first map of Breeze.
Yep, I agree.
Anyone?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree. They were playing much more like as a team, different from KRU. I felt like there were a lot of individual plays going on where they needed to either they win the trade or they would just lose the round.
Yeah, and it felt like there were so many clutches as well in those post-plant situations or the retakes. So many 1v3s, 2v2s that were going on. It really went in the way of MIBR.
I think when they were down 0-4, Zekin having that clutch round really got them back into it. You just need one round like that to be able to do that. And on top of that, I really like their defense. I feel like looking at the map, they were playing a lot of 2-on-2, very standard, but they ended up playing retake a lot.
Yeah.
Like if
So this map was 45 minutes,
but if not, just play back.
and it's a map that
they were really
seemed like
util, their pathing. They were really set on the retake.
KRU
So
just
they didn't even care if KRU got the bomb down.
don't have the details to be able to win out. I feel like it's a huge map. In maps like Sunset,
the way that they were doing it was
Summit, they can pack. They can pack like as in they can move as a group and take over space.
MIBR would just take control of the whole map, and then KRU would exec into a side. But then at that point, MIBR just knew what was going on, and the retake was just going easily towards them.
Yeah, and I feel like Ospas got a pick with the op more often than not, just for fun. But two of the players that we wanted to point out were Verno and Zekin, who were topping the scoreboards. But actually, Verno and MW Zera on Sova were both top fragging. So both these players looking so good with their Sova util. I mean, talk me through this, because even Verno was having insane rounds.
I feel like people underestimate how much Sova is kind of a fragger role on this map. You get to sit and nest, swing out mid, and just go for one taps. So it doesn't surprise me that they're both performing really well. They're both incredible players. I love to see their Sova ults, especially Verno. I feel like he had so much value with his util. I saw him get a few shot kills actually, which is kind of hard to do if you don't have like picture perfect lineups. So I was really impressed by their gameplay.
I mean, MW, a player that has been talked about for a long time in Brazil. And Verno, I think, from MIBR, in our match against them, is probably the player that I had most difficulty of fighting against. So it's kind of, you know, not that surprising to see both of them fragging out.
He's annoying in the server. That's basically is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
He's really good. I mean, the clutches, everything has been going their way. They're top fragging. I just feel a little bit bad for MW. It feels like he was putting up those numbers, but KRU was kind of unable to follow suit. But I mean, what do you guys think about this matchup for KRU? What do you think in this Breeze they fell short on?
Ooh.
I think, honestly, I'm not in a really good position to talk about Breeze because I don't really play.
That's
anymore.
true. Why are you on this part?
I do think it was weird the way that they progressed the tech side. I mean, we talked about how their XX was just like waiting a second and then execing. I think they could have done more things throughout the entire map rather than just focusing on a single spot.
Yeah, taking a lot more map control, being able to push around the map, and also when they do get into those post plants, being able to hold them, right? But let's just look ahead here, because KRU, they did this yesterday. They lost that first map, but they moved on to win the next two. We have Sunset coming up next, which is KRU's pick. Now, we heard in that interview with Fraud, he was saying this veto was kind of going their way. What do you guys feel about it?
I would be so happy if I was Fraud right now. Like, oh, you're picking our best maps for us? Thank you so much. But I will say, I really liked their Sunset last week, or on Thursday.
Yeah.
I really liked how they played the KO, of course. I'm a KO believer.
Okay.
But
Not just a believer.
Not just a believer, a lover even. I really liked how they played it. I think that MIBR are going to have to go in with a good game plan to kind of, you know, anti those flashes. There's a lot of good pot flash lineups. It's hard to kind of scale up a main because you're afraid, okay, are they going to flash and re-clear? So I'm excited
I
to see
just
how
realized
MIBR
there's a sign in the background that says February to March.
Yeah, well,
But we're in
let's hear what
August.
Coach Zonic actually has to say ahead of map 2 with these
We're in
games.
August.
All right, here with Coach Zonic, coach of KRU, excuse me. So, my friend, you know, we've been in this situation before. Actually, it feels a little reminiscent. But this time around, I want to ask you, because I asked Fraud the same thing, but I want to get your read on that map veto. And what was kind of like not just the thought process, but also like what you guys saw in some of those, I guess, losses MIBR suffered to Lev that kind of led you to make the choices that you did?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, we were expecting this exactly the 3 maps. Oh, really? Yeah, we prepared for the series. We know that it's going to be like a close series, close matches. So we actually talk about the fact that it's going to be probably like a 2-1 with these exact same maps. So yeah.
So of course. Now, how do you guys get back into this one? Down 1-0, and you got your pick coming, or you got their pick coming up next. What do we do here?
Our pick.
Your pick. Sorry, your pick. But what do we do here?
Yeah, I mean, we worked a lot into that Sunset because we knew it's going to be on the series. Yeah. So we basically talk about the things that we need to do to establish a game plan as fast as possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. KRU's pulled off some.
Oh, they cut his mic. They cut his mic.
A lot of sense. Zonic saying that they knew they were going to lose one of the maps, expecting a 2-1 here, and they're working a lot on that Sunset. What do you guys think that you're expecting to see from KRU here going into this next map?
I don't know what to expect, but I better see good anti-strat because for KRU to pick one of MIBR's most comfortable maps, Sunset, surely a lot of work must have been put onto it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot of work and a lot of anteing going into this. But Shift and Ash will be right back with map 2 after this break.
Hit the wall, broke the skin, never complain, I just start again, I'll never stop, watch me go, I rise to the top, I let them know, I'm built for this, every time I fall, I get up, all the weight that made me bend, turns these shaking hands to strength again.
And we're back.
Welcome back to the Riot Games Arena and our 1-0 best of 3 currently in favor of MIBR. Really, really solid bounce back in map number 1. And really, I mean, I love hearing from GB right there from both coaches saying, yeah, we anticipated all 3 of these maps to be here. So no excuses. Time for the, well, rubber to hit the road, as they say, especially if you're KRU.
Yeah, it definitely is. Honestly, I loved hearing that from Zonic, though. If you think about it, the last 2 games that KRU were able to pick up, they were those reverse sweeps, those 2-1 that he was talking about. And there won't be any changes across the board here for either side when it comes down to these compositions. The desk was talking about it.
The interesting thing is the difference in initiators. We have MW0 and Verno. We have MW0 on the Fade, and then we have Verno on the Sova.
Yeah, I mean, it's offensively against Bestia.
I think I honestly prefer the Fade on Sunset because I feel like it's a lot more agile, especially going into close corners like elbow on A. Like there's so many corners to clear in once you get towards the site, getting past the mains. Even some of the B mains, be able to get defined info based off of that, allow you to take that space. There's a lot more value.
Honestly, the first blood back and forth between both teams was relatively even, so not much to say in terms of finding an advantage to one side.
Especially on the retake too, having a fade.
Able to know exactly how the breakdowns on site were going to go. Dante going to throw a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of an effort here for Crew at mid-map.
Dante just using his body for info.
Saw a handful of players at tiles, but honestly, Crew not too interested in challenging it for the moment.
I like this aggressive line that Crew are already holding, though less having that information. It's going to be up to Heat and Tex. MW Zera trying to help with a little bit of that.
Oh, there's
presence,
a echo.
They have such a heavy pressure now that MIBR have looked to place on that top mid.
So now MIBR contacting to mid. They saw the neon. And it looks like they're about to head into B, but they have to re-clear it. And with what util?
The one-way smoke kind of gets disrespected.
They have the Molly
so Crew are just going to take a little bit and
the Phoenix Flash. They have a dart,
so
but they're probably going to save that for sight.
I would say
whoa, Dante. Ill-advised.
And now all of a sudden, here's the crunch on towards the
Trades?
main portion of the B site. Pinstripe kill feed, but that's enough for numbers.
Sadok's making noise. And he dies.
Sure of that as he finds another
This might be a 2-0.
deep into the site, and Les rotating late has a
This
very
might be a
difficult 1 versus 3
2-0.
in front of him.
Les has been a world champion before. If he can open up this pistol round here for Crew on their map pick, it's a question of the hour. Texas low down to 1.
Tex is literally one shot, but he doesn't know.
Not what you like to see.
He doesn't know.
3 in the round, MIBR
He doesn't
with the
know.
pistol. And I love that. You disrespect the one by throwing a smoke of your own. You don't give away any information.
Yeah, I think the way that Crew loses round is that death right there. Dante just dry peeks against the whole squad.
I think it was Sato who had shouted it out. The fact that Crew are playing a lot more individually.
I think if anything, he should be jiggle peeking, no?
That entire round, there just wasn't that support where there's
Either that or trying to isolate a fight, but he just swings out into the open. You swing out into the open, it's easier for you to trade.
Consistently clean in those moments as well. You cannot be making.
Or it's easy for you. It's easier for the other team to trade you. Get trade. It's easier for the other team.
Well, this round once again, gonna have MIBR in the anti with superior
It's
firepower.
easy for the other team to kill you.
No commitment here though behind that.
You get what I mean.
Instead, ooh, shoulder of heat has been seen.
He and Tex see each other.
He's been noticed though, so he will back away.
There is a lean towards B on the defender side.
A little bit bottled up here front side at B.
Sadok's just holding for Tex. And wow.
Pick, though, at the very
They're going to rush into the strong side. I mean, unless MIBR pause for like a good 30 seconds, but they're just going to hit. Mazzino? Whoa.
The dark cover for 1. The hot hands largely just going to be no problems there. Defense still in a position to try to hold in the backside of the B site. MIBR looking, they want to maybe challenge this and
around those. Whoa, MW Zera.
So nice from MW Zera, but Dante will get this over to a 1v1. Him versus Mazzino.
Oh, and he just missed his first shot.
Mazzino able to find
he just missed his first shot.
Nicely
if he gets a dink
a nice
on the first shot, then he gets the kill.
Not enough. Veterancy there for Mazzino is going to come out on top.
I mean, I guess the only other way he can win that is if Mazzino just whiffs.
Thrown down by Crew. For Les to be able to kind of hold on to the right side of the site.
That's a first bullet moment.
It just doesn't pan out in their favor. Instead, MIBR took advantage of it.
Well, MIBR punished pretty big on that anti-eco, so they're going to be a little bit more limited on this bonus. Full weapons involved though for Crew. Seconds able to get the ultimate ready to go. So that
it is a punishing bonus though.
Part of the execute you'd have to figure here for MIBR trying to get this bonus through the finish line.
Reposted on the angle there in elbow for Heat. And Tex is just trying to see if he can hear anything into market, any kind of rotation.
Just spotted Sova.
Good information that Les has found though, now backing up onto site.
And they're making noise and being main.
Contested prowler through mid,
Spam.
flushed out. Huge first blood there for Crew. Has MIBR focusing a rotation, and there is A lot of open space.
They
to
can
work with
hit.
towards A. They may
They
not
can hit
necessarily know
A.
that though, but
The Xeno gets a gun.
regardless of it, there is a wide open avenue for them to hit.
Bro, Sapa with Zekin. Zekin has ult.
Again, looking to try and deal with this top mid trip.
Oh, that's so good from MW Zera. The space for
Spam.
second is minimal off the run it back.
The
Still get past the
Xeno.
choke point, and you get some pressure over towards mid. Paranoia going to come through. That's going to allow some
Sadak.
isolation over to the middle of the
They
map.
can go to B now.
Still trying to step up, and it's
They
going to
just saw
back
Neon
over to B. You've got market control here if you are
and
MIBR.
KO.
Crew going to have to play the retake. This is a really good sense of control.
Spike is
Zera
down.
comes through again.
Now the
That's
round
your
is
spike
over.
Carrier now down. Dante trying to keep that contested.
No
Last couple
time.
of seconds, you just have to find the picks, and there will be no more time here for Auspice. Just comes
Do
down
some
to can you
damage.
make this more punishing. The answer is no, and Crew come away with a very comfortable round.
A great refight coming in from Crew into mid, ensuring that they are taking that fight together. MIBR, I like the flood into market, but Verno to be the last one into that door was definitely unfortunate to drop that spike there. Could have been a completely different scenario had that.
I don't know if I like the ult and a man
Now as
disadvantage.
we look forward into the following rounds here, Crew still have weapons advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Onto light shields, all things considered, after that round, but MW Zera, one away from that Nightfall could be huge.
Yeah, that's cause and effect, but we gotta talk about that in a moment because you're just
Off
going to
of
get a
a
straight
timing.
push through A main here for MIBR. The fast lane allows that.
And
lane to open up, and
MIBR
that will
know
lead towards the
that
first
Crew
blood, but
love
that's
to take
the cause and effect
timings.
of having to repurchase so much into round 3 for what's supposed to be your bonus for MIBR, but so far unpunished.
Oh,
Less.
whiffs.
Big battle
Whiffs.
here with Tex. Neither of these players
Just kidding.
wants
They're
to
just
scam
making
away
noise.
their life here, but Les is going to take the push
See, Les
and
got the kill.
find the elimination. That will give the defense an opportunity to try to congest MIBR on this A site now.
Verno not spotting anything out on site,
Oh,
forcing Sawdog
the
to cross,
punish.
and Zekin being able to take advantage of that. So nicely
Oh.
done.
That was clean. Let's see his
Now
first
it's
two
all up to
kills.
Les. He would need an ace to win
And
out
he's
this
gonna
round. It's
save.
going to be the save. They don't have the money in the tank to take that risk.
It's just such a tough setup right there. Crew are trying to wait for that flank to get there, but as soon as Sadok drops, it allows MIBR a chance to kind of watch all things at once because you know you've got so much clearance to the backside of the A site now. And Verno reaps the reward by finding 2 on the pinch. So it's just the timing of those peaks, just a little bit off right again from Crew. It's going to lead to a 3-1 count, and that will get the economy right back into order for your MIBR.
On the side of Crew, though, into next round, we still have that Nightfall available to work with for MW Zera. He was the shining light for Crew on Breeze. For MIBR, though, I think they're doing a really good job of just disrespecting the knife over at A main, understanding that they can scale up fast enough thanks to Aspas being on that Neon, the follow-up there from Zekin, continuing to farm that orb. We aren't seeing as aggressive of pressure being put out by Crew for that space. Has namely been that utility. And MIBR are more than happy to fight into it, knowing that they can get the timing.
Big piece of what needs to be the recipe for Crew is coming to play here, though, in round 5. They're going to get the operator into the hands of Heat. But a lot of opportunity for MIBR to find that space back of their own rate as we go into a listen-in with MIBR.
We get the box, I guess. Okay, I shocked the chamber.
Let's exit B, guys.
Yeah, got me.
I have no wall.
Yeah, I'm getting ripped.
We can exit
I
on
can
this
walk
guy
close.
after.
He's
Yeah.
glass cannon, he has no armor. Only saw me.
We can exit on this guy. You want to smoke?
Wow, that's a good call from
Do
Tex.
that when we flash you, do that when we flash you. I'm gonna wall like this and we go backside.
All glass cannon.
Wait. In 10.
No, I'll wall like this and
Okay,
we go backside.
do it.
Let's go, let's go.
3, 2, 1.
I'm joining over the wall.
Yep. Waiting for a drone.
Let's go now. On tag, on top.
I'm flashing that guy.
I flash back.
Drone is blind.
KO backside.
Flashing.
Flash.
They recruit mid right now.
Oh, they don't know where the op is. They just found the op, and Aspas misses his shot. In a 2v5, they need to create space, and Mazzino's better run out of smokes.
Yeah.
Dog market, flash market. It's not burn.
Ako na spawn only.
Ooh, unwinnable.
Flasher.
Nice try.
That up. My bad, I didn't even realize.
Flawless round for KRU, exactly what the doctor ordered. Heat able to get things going with the operator, but I will say for MIBR, kind of using that as an opportunity to evaluate the comms, a lot of investment towards trying to get deep through that B site and not allowing KRU a chance to find comfortable retakes. That's going to be something we need to keep our eye on as we go through this half.
Oh, for sure. A very good understanding of the fact that those smokes were going to allow that flood into the backside. They had to contest that space if they wanted to hold the post plan. Of course, KRU, they do come out on top when it does come to those fights. But now, I think the other thing that I had my eyes on is just the communication coming out from Zekin, how calm those comms sounded as well in the midst of those fights.
Limited purchase here actually has KRU holding onto a handful of light armors to get their eco built up just a touch, but with things like the run it back at the ready, it's going to be called immediately. And here we go once again over towards B. Heat trying to find an actual
the huge miss. And KRU already to flood.
He misses that. Now Zekin is so
he doesn't get any info.
Early pressure that MIBR is trying to establish. Nightfall trying to counter. Immediately the contest
it's
starts
chaos.
Oh,
but he's tagged. Was there a dart in the smoke? Stinger moment?
Will be shaken off, and Texas continuing to rip him apart with the stinger.
I mean, Texas is going to hold the ult for the next round.
How do you retake with an operator?
That's good discipline.
Into the face of Tex on the corner. The answer might be that you don't.
Only if this round drastically changes the ults. But they know where everybody is.
In back sight, and that op not even going to be able to be saved. MIBR, they go hunting there for the members of KRU.
I would say just, again, reflecting off the listening from the round previously and then seeing once more the hard commitment for MIBR to get deep this B site. KRU's going to need to find a way to stall out these executes and make it a little bit more punishing for them to get onto site in the first place, because you cannot allow MIBR to continually be putting pressure on the back screens like that.
Definitely not. KRU, the other issue, I think, with how we've seen the setups thus far, again, he hasn't really been able to get onto those deep lines. This will be the first one.
Oh, tour de force comes.
Oh, what a good molly. And a TP from Azino.
That will work out for
Aspas, go kill. And Verno's stealing Aspas's kills. Unbelievable.
Even in the face of
run him down. Run him down.
Nowhere for Dante to go. You blink,
I love that tempo. Keep it going.
Flawless when it comes down to, sure, the numbers that were maintained by MIBR, all players staying alive, but also just the timing of every single piece of utility into that round. You have the From the Shadows landing from Mizzino at the perfect time, layered with that molly, and just a guarantee that the execution was going to be perfect there. Definitely unfortunate that Sadak does, throw out a little team flash in that situation, but it is what it is for Heat. He's just trying to get out.
Unbelievable. And that's just another instance to keep in mind of, like, if you're KRU, you have to find some way to stop these executes from happening so quickly. You've got double initiators. There's got to be opportunities for you to stall those out. But so far, because of the conditioning that's been established towards B, now all of a sudden you're trying to make on less, trying to commit his paranoia to stop that. He is not able to throw the one-way towards A. It's just so many decisions that KRU have to make, and they're in some trouble right here. Even though MW Zera is having himself one heck of a series at this point.
It's definitely true. Granted, though, if we're calling back to the Sunset where we saw KRU have that success up against Bestia, yes, it was a 13-1. But that was also them starting on the attacking side. We didn't really get to see how this composition looks for KRU on defense. They only had 2 rounds. It was the pistol and the anti-eco that they ended up winning out to close that map. And we're seeing the gaps here, right? Again, so much of this composition, very similar to what we saw on Breeze, is reliant on being able to set Heat and Dante up when it comes down to either early angles, to get that early information, that space, that pressure on MIBR's attack.
Okay, let's evaluate how KRU have changed things off this timeout. The trademark on the close corner at mid. You toss a knife and a seize as soon as the fast lane comes up, but MIBR, that was meant to just be kind of a show of force, not an actual commitment. But at least for KRU defensively, you check the first box. You've stopped any early aggression. You've got Heat on a hard scoped angle over towards elbow, and now you've got a 3-stack with that paranoia still in hand to potentially delay over towards B. This is exactly what you want if you're KRU. You're on a little bit of a limited purchase, but you've got to see this one come through.
It's going to be the same
Spot the
execution here
neon.
from
Heavy side is
MIBR,
B.
trying to get that front sight control.
Hunter's Fury try to open the door here. Verno trying to use that over towards Market.
Dante instantly shut down.
Hands up in time. Zekin off the corner, able to turn that into a second elimination backside of the site.
Zekin, baby.
MIBR getting through the site, putting pressure onto Crew, who are now going to have to make a decision if they even want to go for this.
She's gonna farm orbs. That's
You're just farming up orbs
Why
now.
not?
For a second, take every
That's
single opportunity that
crazy.
he possibly can. He's
Might
been
as well go 8.
absolutely unreal on the Phoenix so far.
Spike planted. Teleport's ready.
And he's exactly the player that you want to be on that agent, right? With the communication
That's big.
that he's going to give to his team.
Problem is, this was already a decision.
Yeah,
to save.
MW0 is already saving.
Even though Heat does connect, it's not going to rely on a follow-up from MW0 now. Zekin able to find the op on the cross back over to the backside of the A site. And this will be a very easy 6th round for MIBR. And that's just so problematic for Crew. And I get it, like the Hunter's Fury changes things completely in terms of how Crew can stay on site, or at least attempt to stay on site, but still, the fact that you were able to stop any play towards A, you get a 3-man stack with the agents that you want at B, and you still only find 1 elimination in that execute, is not great news for Crew's defense.
It is definitely tough, though. MIBR, they did throw another wrench into that, right? They didn't go off of that first layer of utility. The first time that they had that execution on that B site, you had the dark cover onto stairs. You had Zekin throwing the blaze wall on the right side to cut off that angle. But then MIBR, they waited a beat. They wait for the wall to drop. Zekin then gets the entry in after you throw in the second. Well,
we got
lovely. I'm sure that from
Bro, Foss is crying.
in the coaching booth.
Well, Zekin now has to run it back at the ready. Quick play through tiles here for MIBR. This is a new look. Once again, that knife defensively for Crew tossed over towards A. There also is a one-way there for them to play off of. So Heat, no op, will still hold that angle for now. You also have less with an aggressive peek over through B main. So the only question mark you have right now is what's happening at mid.
Nobody here can really buy any time, though, for Heat if they go for this execution on the A side.
He's able to deny the owl. There's the run it back. Different spot for the rendezvous. Doesn't want to get caught by those hot hands again. Offensive paranoia is going to come through. Heat will still be taken care of. MW0 just could not peek through this dark cover.
You have a late flank coming in here from Les, looking to shrouded step over that TP. Null command available into the retake here for Sadak. They have great pieces.
Now you got to get your utility on site. You need to find a way to break down this post point. Great fragment in the corner. Verno's in some trouble. He will fall. Isolation for Mazzino.
Oh, almost got the clat.
MW0 able to find at least the response. Second peaks at the perfect moment to find the final 2, and MIBR get to 7.
Insane swings coming out from MIBR to ensure that they're, again, taking those fights together every single time. It's been impossible for Crew to find that kind of advantage. But again, I think my issue with this anchor for Heat on this A side of the map is consistently the fact that he does not have that support. Sure, he has the rendezvous to get out, but there's no other piece of utility that's providing that delay so he actually can back up off of that site.
It really just goes you to show that like they're trusted that Heat can go one and done if he's going to play that aggressive angle without an op, but that has not been the case. And now we're on limited purchase for Crew in round 10. MIBR, no significant ultimates anywhere nearby earned, so there's going to be some resource farming you would have to imagine in this round here.
Take flight.
It's not like it's taken that much for Zekin to get those runabacks on that.
No, it has not.
Not with the performance that he's been having. Heat now already pushed off the deep line here, forced to respect it, hunt to try and garner a bit of information, but Verno is just playing distraction. Much prefer these looks from Crew when that trap is being set. The trademark over on that A side again, allowing Heat to, I think, play a little bit more comfortably.
With 40 on the clock, looks like MIBR are going to just take the full 5-man rush in towards B main. Knife at the ready for Sadak. Fragment to follow. Paranoia does still cut across the site, but MIBR will hit the pause button. They want that utility first and foremost. Fast lane will allow an opportunity to dissect the front part of the site, but how do you get through the back? You've got Dante with a stinger. This could actually be really impactful from this position, and there's so much of a read right there, but he's not able to get the trigger pulled initially. Eventually a 1-for-1 trade. MW Zera back into the site with the one rifle that they might need. Can he win it all? Absolutely. 3 for MW Zera, thrifty for KRU, who are still alive.
Insane hold coming out from KRU. MW Zera again has been the star today in this matchup up against MIBR. Such a hero in these moments, this veteran player. One of the OGs when it comes down to players that made statements within the Brazilian scene to put them on the map internationally. That was all him. Now, again, trying to keep KRU alive in this upper bracket of the plans.
This entire series has been all him. He's just like, get in the backpack, I'll do it my damn self. So much more to do, though, here if you're KRU. And if you could find a way to get to 5, that would feel incredible. But he gets caught, and Tex is going to get a second. Oh, that's just not at all what you want to see if you're a KRU fan. So now Les has the world in front of him. First shot clean, trying to teleport away, just able to get there, trying to shut down Auspice, and that is a huge shutdown.
Gets out.
And now he's feeling
Bro's taking his time.
Not gonna happen.
Bro is taking his time.
Oh,
holy whiff.
Zera still alive and kicking, though. Gives this an opportunity for KRU. Nightfall at the ready, 2 versus 2. Post plant going to be established for MIBR.
Face your fear. Nightfall comes out, and both players dodge it?
I think both dodge. So now you got to try to work through all of the rest of MIBR's remaining utility. Prowler still at the ready as the knife connects onto both players. In the corner, Flash will connect. It leaves it just down a second for the 1 versus 2. Fragment, Haunt, both pushing Zekin out of the corner, but he's maybe going to get a lineup here, but no. Instead, Sadok takes away the angle, finds the elimination, and KRU get their 4th.
Great utility between both MW Zera and Sadok to push back into that retake. A much needed round win there for KRU.
I mean, initially, that looks like a disaster round. The fact that Tex on an island gets 2, you're starting to think there's just no way. But once again, MW Zera continues to absolutely bring KRU back from the depths. And now we've got full purchase for an opportunity to exit this half 7-5. And based on how it started, if you're KRU, you're sitting here like, thank goodness if that comes through.
Zekin 1 away from the run it back into this round. Again, gonna continue to look to farm up that B main orb. One of the few times we're actually seeing the trip being placed over towards main. It's that deeper exploration of mid, something that we haven't seen from KRU since the first couple of rounds.
They're just looking for an opening pick. They don't see much here, though. Tex lurking, looking for an angle at market. Able to see 1, and Dante falls. It's just not where you can afford to have a first blood. Because now the crunch starts to come through. The trademark does slow things down here, though, for MIBR. Zekin able to get on towards site with this run it back, but he's not able to get as deep as he would prefer to. Shut down by Sadok. You still have MW Zera holding in the corner. Neural theft will come through. That will give a really strong lay of the land here for MIBR, and they're looking to rotate away. Then got less completely isolated off that information. Heat on the corner, connects. 3 versus 4 numbers for MIBR, but a wide open A site and a pivot man in Mazzino, who's able to shut down another. Should lead to a post plant, but this is starting to get a little costly through the middle of the map here for MIBR's attack.
A lot of individual engagements that are being taken now, but Mazzino's positioning has been the key for this round for MIBR to come back into it. Plant will be secured here. MW Zera has the Haunt coming up and a Prowler to work with.
If there was ever a player you could pick to send into a 1 versus 2, it would be MW Zera for KRU.
Last round, though, Hunter's Fury is available in the 2v1.
That is going to be tough to break down, especially with Verno playing deep. And Zera is just not putting pressure on the spike. There comes the commitment.
Oh, GG.
Dances with the second. Mazzino waiting for a chance to try to find a peek off the 3rd. Catches him maybe with a Haunt out, and that will be enough. Mazzino.
The one way is just too nasty.
MIBR up.
Insane impact coming out from Mazzino. The 3K that he was able to find those little pieces into mid and getting inserted there. It allowed for that rotation to come over towards the A site, making it that much more comfortable for Verno to scale up and get that timing so that they didn't get divided up by KRU looking to rotate.
And that messy little mid setup, you initially thought maybe KRU could get away with something, but not the case. 8 for the half. Have to have another masterful attack here for KRU if they want to try to see a third map. We'll see if they can put it together when we come back.
All right, Les, you've been a part of some incredible moments in your career. What is one thing that you wish you can go back to, relive, re-experience for the first time?
I think the best moment of like my life, maybe it was after to be the champions as the champions, because when you go to a break, to a vacation, and you won, like you don't need to think about it, worry about it, like team, future, bro, you won, so you just need to actually live the life. So yeah, I would like to relive that moment.
So would you say it was the vacation you took after you won champs?
Yeah, exactly. It was not the moment that I won, it was after I won.
So Aspas loved to revisit champs. You want to revisit the vacation after champs. Absolutely love it. Well done.
It's kind of like a have your cake and eat it too type of reaction right there. Right now, the bakery is open for MIBR, who are doing just that. Absolutely brilliant start for them through the attack. KRU, opportunity to try to break their way back in, but not quite able to get that last round of number 12. Puts a lot of pressure on this pistol in the second half, Ash.
Oh, it absolutely does. And again, this is the first time these two teams are facing off against each other this year within VCT, and neither team has been able to qualify to an international event. To be standing in each other's way there between Les, Sadak, and Aspas being on opposite sides to make that path over towards champions, you really can't write a better story.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they may not have familiarity playing against each other, but there's definitely familiarity, to put it plainly. That is a tall haunt. Floating above the top of the map, just on that little bit of a cable. But KRU will get that opening towards A main, but do you expect a quick double hit? Oh, through tiles, and your spike is here. Oh no, not what you want to see. Now all of a sudden KRU are scrambling to get back over to see if they can collect it. Again, you still don't know that there's a second player here, so you got a crossfire set up for MIBR. Dante will get the first. There's the follow-up flash from Zekin. It's some trouble, and that's a huge follow-up elimination from Dante.
Oh, no HUD, no HUD. Mazzino just mops.
And it's going to be MIBR across the scoreboard in that kill feed. Insanely done.
MIBR said I got dinner plans.
Being able to do that as well, the first time he's facing up against his old organization on the big stage.
I think there's also just, and this is not a fair like compare and contrast moment, but you go back to one of those earlier rounds for KRU on their defense where they've got that insert and you're trying
Wait,
to
did she say his old organization?
Perfection, absolute poetry from MIBR. Mazzino getting the spotlight with 3 in the end, but that double flank around the back, the timing of the pinch, absolutely chef's kiss. And now KRU are in some big trouble. Cannot afford anything though in terms of trying to get a force buy-in, and to make matters worse, MIBR is going to get second an extra orb over towards A, and that space is now going to lead towards these extra weapons, hard focusing on what's coming over towards B.
Now Pop Flash looks good. Aspas still tucked into that smoke. Marking control has been seized by KRU.
Kind of. They're still being tested, but the shots are not there for
Aspas.
Bobble from Aspas.
Trying to feed.
Able to get 2. Heat with the shutdown. Tex trying to stay alive. Has help on the way. Zekin now joins him backside of the site. And KRU still cannot get the full site in their control to even get the spike on yet. Tex holding inside the dark cover. There's the toggle of the sound cue, does not bait Tex out, and Mazzino is in position to stop the rotation. Paranoia cuts through, should hit absolutely everything, and Mazzino's gonna get another triple and let them know.
He is absolutely letting it rip on stage right now. MIBR up to 10. Mazzino calling the shots for this team. The reads have been so good, but his mechanics have absolutely come alive.
What a blind.
Such a good read. Such a good read. And that's just another impact. And for MIBR, talking about their offense, putting so much focus on getting to the backside of the B site. Take the opposite of that. MIBR never allowed that to happen for KRU, and all of a sudden you're sitting there like, okay, we know they're in front of us or at market. It just makes the decision making that much more simple. Bonus round here for MIBR. KRU already taking some damage as Heat has to get out of dodge over towards A main. Quick prowler over to market, but no commitment for KRU yet. They cannot afford to make a mistake here in round 15.
They absolutely can't. KRU, look at how much this game plan has shifted from them, though, compared to what we saw last time up against Bestia on this Sunset. So many layers came down to those 0 points that were being thrown over at A main, getting that information. Instead, it's been these mid-heavy plays ever since we saw that first pistol round where MIBR were looking to get aggressive.
Yeah, with double initiators into Neon, getting space should not be a problem for KRU. But I say that, and the setup right now for MIBR is
whoa, Dante almost did a 360.
Another huge double as KRU just do not clear off the corner. And all of a sudden, KRU have to just rely on trying to bully out Tex over at market.
Tex doesn't know.
The Paranoia for one, not able to get the second.
Or Tex just has low sense.
Collected. Mazzino's still on the
Mazzino's
site.
literally one shot.
20 seconds, KRU are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mazzino has been such a hero, but there is nothing that
Second
they
with
can
two.
do with Zekin around the corner.
Sheesh.
11 rounds there for MIBR and Shift. This is a far cry from the KRU that we saw 13-1 previously. MIBR, they've absolutely done their homework though as well with how early they're going for that A main aggression. They have been forcing KRU to look to respect it at times too. And we're just not seeing that same value out of the KO that we expected to.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking double initiator Neon. Like, it should be guaranteed to, at worst, evenly exchange first contact. But now we're in dire straits if you're KRU. A couple of sheriffs and a guardian. MIBR gonna
With
have
the same
outlaw in the
outlaw.
hands of Auspice, and you know what that can mean. First blood already comes through. If he hits that one, I think KRU's mental's probably broken, but Verno will just make sure those kills still get tallied. And KRU is just about down and out here, and MIBR is about to be on series point.
Let's see if Les is going to be able to
double blind. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Put it in a blanket.
In that situation.
Set it out.
Clinical sunset coming out from MIBR, but KRU definitely not looking
Wrap
like
it up
they're
here.
in the same form that we saw them just earlier this week.
No, it's just been so different. And to be fair, it's a
This is the KRU that Sen lost to. This is the KRU.
Playing some really good Val, and we're seeing it come to fruition in every single form.
Yeah. Definitely is. You talk about caliber
This
of
is the
opponents, though,
KRU.
9 out of the 10 players on stage have been to champs. It's just been Dante who is still looking to pave his way to an international stage.
Knife will come through. KRU able to get, again, a little bit of space here at the front of A. Spike not a part of this play, though, as the Prowler will also do some hunting over towards B. Spy came in the corner for the defense, has not been denied. And the Aldrone will find a little bit of confirmation of who is here. And KRU will have to kind of back off, kill some noise, and see if they can create doubt somewhere else on the map. As Mazzino has already essentially replaced that one-way smoke.
Could have got peeked off the flash, but he just didn't do anything.
Pulling the rest of
Didn't try to run away.
3 players back over to this A side to help him out. Heat still with the pulse in hand, trying to lurk on the other side of the map.
A two default.
They're more than happy to just play these numbers, look to rotate, shift together.
And we're just going to play run it back just to clear the space.
And Tex has been such a pivotal part of the calling in the mid-round for
My
MIBR. With
Thule?
every single nook and cranny he's been able to find himself in, whether on the attack or defense.
This is interesting. KRU look like they're going to get cold feet here. Recon bolt comes through. We're creating noise.
We don't have time for this.
We really don't. I mean, the setup is still well and truly in play for MIBR defensively at B. And that paranoia is not enough for MIBR to sit here and be like, yeah, they're here.
Easiest
So no
flash
moving, but that's a
still
big hit from
dies.
Sadhawk. Could
And
potentially
second
influence
ult's in the
defense with
corner.
touch. Here comes the
It
commitment
was a
towards
fake
the
on
mid
A.
Look at Tex. Look how
With
quick he was
Tex.
able to move over.
But no trip, because the trip is on A.
Position was so important.
Here
Less.
comes the play,
Oh,
but
Tex
Zara
dies.
comes through again. Les trying to watch the rotation. Able to stop one, but traded by
2v2.
2 versus 2 situation.
Up versus
still
up.
just on the
Oh, timing.
Disrespected as he connects with the tour de force. Verno almost gets the recon bolt back.
There he has it.
He's been so good in clutches. Absolutely ice cold.
He's running out of time for this one, though. There's the recon bolt back over towards B main.
It's gonna spot heat, but they don't know where Dante is. This would be the greatest comeback of all time.
Ooh.
Do we believe in the comeback?
The timing
Do we
was just
believe in map
perfect to
3?
work out for KRU. With when Aspas made the decision to take that rotation to the A site, it was really narrow margins to make this round work.
Long path in front of you. Very long path in front of you. But the first step is now done. Overdrive at the ready. Sadhawk is very close to null command. It looks like there's going to be a lot of early force here for KRU.
Oh, early tempo, but Verno's.
First blood. Verno stops the play in its tracks. Sadhawk going to get to work to get this null command.
Am I watching MIBR or am I watching G2?
And just try to see if you can force the issue, but instead, KRU will back away.
He's going to go 1 for 1.
Heat waiting to see if he can find something.
He doesn't get anything.
He's just able to snap away to keep his life.
Yeah, being able to get out there.
It's empty B site, but that's the Cypher setup.
Great to re-clear into elbow. Now the call for MIBR to make the rotation.
Another missed op shot.
You just have to have one of those. You're still going to get the plant, but once again, look how
So they know where.
They're not able to get to the backside of the site. Hunter's Fury queued out. Nightfall to counter for the attack.
It doesn't get anything.
Hunter's Fury's not able to find too much. Now on towards the site we go. Les still looking to try to contest in the back part of the site as that Nightfall holds MIBR in their spawn. No command about to
I think
respond.
Verno should be getting his dart soon.
Knife Wolf once again.
And he got
Flash up.
You're running out of time here if you're MIBR.
It's a 5v3. You have to be fast. Yep.
Hold the line, able to connect this time. Good follow-up flash coming through. KRU.
No way. They just bunker site. Wow.
Absolutely flawless.
Is the comeback real?
Hold for KRU.
Is the comeback real?
Hold coming out from that squad to be able to pull that off in a 3v5 where they didn't have any of that marking control, no space. It was just full force fledged from MIBR trying to get through CT. The swings absolutely perfect to ensure that they're getting those trades, and the timeout now is to be called by MIBR.
That's fair.
One more round. One more
KRU
round.
work out just a touch,
One
at least in
more
terms
round.
of moving the
One
defense
more
around.
round.
Which that's going to be a big key to
One
making
more
this
round.
comeback happen. Again, hate to say it for a third time, but with double initiators, you have to be putting pressure on the defensive setups. There's no other way about it. And now that you've been able to establish some bank accounts, you can get Heat that operator more reliably. He's connecting. That was a big key to success for them when they were playing up against Bestia. It was a big key to success when they were playing up against Sentinels as well in the last week of the stage. So those are things that you need to see. It just comes down to, is it too little, too late? Because we still have to win 6 more rounds in a row to even force an overtime.
Definitely have to be as perfect as possible in these scenarios, especially because you don't want that economy to slip away from you either. Now for MIBR, heading into this round, we do have overdrive available for Aspas. He's been so clean on the entries when he has the ult up. It has felt nigh impossible for KRU to stop him when he's able to just blitz onto site.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that MIBR aren't trying to establish some sort of a trap play with that overdrive here to see if they can get an extra weapon collected, because Zekin's going to be just on a stinger, but that overdrive looks like it's going to be a response mechanism. And
I mean,
this is just down to how much space can you actually contest if you're MIBR here to make KRU a little bit more hard-pressed to find free entry.
yeah, I think after the Neon nerf as well, with how short that ultimate lasts at this point, it does feel like more of a gamble to try and rip it early in case there isn't anybody there for that play that you're looking for. Now KRU show that presence. A side of the map, we have a bit of a shift in setup here from MIBR. Tex locking things down on the A site.
Tex does have a Vandal, so one-tap ability is very well and truly a possibility here.
He's been an insane anchor for MIBR today.
A deeper one-way comes through for MIBR to try to use defensively. And Auspice will drop. Now it's just on the Tex.
Oh, Tex almost gets 3. In a 3v3, Verno's going to anchor. He's blinded. He's going to use the dart.
Recon Bolt gives him an opportunity to find the timing of his peak as well.
The Les is in backside. And Phoenix, sorry, Zekin just spotted the op. GG.
And you can't plant still if you're KRU.
It's wraps. 20 seconds left.
Now all of a sudden has
Sadok needs to get on site.
Verno being sniffed out, but he finds one before falling. Flash
Second doesn't lose this. Oh.
Not gonna work out. MIBR cleaned it
What did I say? GG.
Clean 2-0 to stay in the upper bracket. Sending KRU down, fighting to further lives.
13-6, and Aspas knocking down his former teammates of Sadok and Les down to that lower bracket that you were mentioning there, Shift, where they're going to have to make a grueling run to still try to qualify into playoffs. He has been a star player for every single roster he's ever been on, and that's always been such a difference maker for them. He's been the person who's been able to take his teams to those champions. Now, the first match that we've seen from them in play-ins, and they're looking strong.
Yeah, it's clean from MIBR. I know all of us, whether it be commentary pairings or the desk, we're picking MIBR in this matchup, but I don't know if any of us would have predicted how clean MIBR were going to look across both maps. I mean, you could really throw away the first 4 rounds in map number 1. They looked great on Breeze. And then you come into your opponent's map pick. On Sunset, you heard the coaching staffs talk about it. Everyone predicted that this was going to be the map set, and MIBR came out looking really polished, really clean. Beautiful stuff from MIBR, setting a big message towards what they could potentially do on a run towards playoffs and beyond.
Still a long way to go, but for MIBR at the very least, it's like you said, just that one game and finding out who they're going to be facing up against a little bit later today. It has been unreal to see the performances on the big stage from both these squads. I think that with all of the layers of, you know, Mazzino also getting to have that almost revenge up against his former organization of KRU and former teammate within Dante here as well. There's so many layers, I think, in this particular game, and it has just been a stunning match to see from MIBR. They wanted to make a statement today.
They did. I mean, history and narratives of how you know each other aside, that was near flawless Valorant out of MIBR today. I can't really pick apart a single moment where they made a mistake. So great stuff from MIBR, and GB's down the main stage to give our final reactions in our post-game interview.
Thank you so much, Shift and Ash. Yes, this is your Verizon post-match interview here. Guys, give it up for Mazzino! First things first, brother. You were out there fragging like a pro. You were absolutely destroying. But I saw you shooting a couple bodies out there. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, it's revenge.
Revenge?
Yeah, because they took me off the team, you know? Yeah.
Oh, they kicked him off the team, so he had to go get that sweet revenge. All right, well, let's go ahead, though. Jokes aside, let's talk about this win because you're one step closer to making it, qualifying for playoffs. It's been a journey for you guys, but how's the team feeling in this moment, knowing that, you know, you only have that one step that you have to take?
Yeah, we know that it's always like one last step.
Yeah.
And we have
you've been in there before.
Yeah, we have been going through a lot, many times, and we know that this is gonna be the time. Well, like, we know that we have the confidence now. We make some changes, so it's not gonna be the same result.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about that confidence because it does feel like, as far as the meta is concerned, you guys are really starting to kind of settle into your roles, feel way more comfortable than what it was like in the previous, or at the beginning of the stage rather.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to? Is that like the coaching staff and you guys really working through this? What was it?
It's everything. It's the coaching staff and also as players too, like going on or saying our opinions on the meta, etc., on what we want to do, what we want to be as a team.
Yeah.
So everything like is coming down together, and yeah.
Yeah, no, of course. And how important was it for you guys to be able to secure not just win, but a 2-0 victory? Because I think a lot of people are looking at MIBR in this play-ins as like a real threat to everyone else. I mean, given all the players that are on the team. So I guess in that regard, like how valuable was it for you guys to get that 2-0 clean victory the way that you guys did today?
I think we don't give it like too much of a thought.
Yeah.
But of course, it's really a good feeling, like having two strong maps, like winning them like clean. And so yeah, it's just like starting the momentum.
Yeah, and is the feeling amongst the group that, you know, I mean, you mentioned it before, but I kind of want to get a little bit more of a confirmation. Like, you guys have had a couple of these setbacks in the past, but this time around, it does feel like you guys are turning the page. Is that internally, that's just how it is with everyone?
Yeah, it is like that. We know that we are not there yet, but we are like getting there, you know?
Yeah.
We need to like, of course, beat the best teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the last step, and then going back to more steps after that.
Hey, well, look, man, if there's one team that could do it, it's definitely MIBR. The talent's there, folks. Give it up for Mazzito. Give it up for MIBR. Coming up next, we got Sentinel squaring up against Envy. You don't want to miss it, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, I think I have to restart stream because there's something wrong with my OBS and I've been trying to fix it. And so, at least for now, while it's in commercial, I might let it ride because I do have to step out. But after it, I will be back.
Envy, obviously everyone knows kind of going through a bit of a struggle. Obviamente los resultados eran totalmente diferentes. Estábamos trabajando de una mala manera. Creo que ahora por fin estamos teniendo profesionalismo y trabajando de una muy buena manera que me tiene más contento, más feliz con mi trabajo. Me siento muy bien, creo que esperado.
They have a lot of talent there, so there's nothing to underestimate. They have my friend Knights on that team too, so that'll be cool to finally play him on stage. I've known him from before he was even competing, so it's kind of cool to see him start competing and start his journey and be up here on stage with me.
Nice.
Creo que obviamente va a ser un partido complicado. Son un buen equipo, pero vamos, si seguimos trabajando de esta misma manera, creo que lo podemos hacer muy bien.
Welcome back to VCT Americas and our second match of the day. We've got an NA showdown between Sentinels and Envy. There's a lot of yapping going on over there. What's going on?
No, nothing.
Okay, cool. Athena here, back on the desk with Alexis, Emily, and Leviathan Sato. Guys, that first game was a blast, but we're jumping into this second game because this is actually the first time that these two squads will face off on the stage this whole year. What are we expecting? Is it going to be a banger or is it going to be a snooze fest?
Here's my thoughts.
Okay, tell me your thoughts.
Envy was probably quite mad during the last game because everyone was saying, oh, M80 is definitely going to be playing Sen. There's a revenge match, like of course.
Yeah.
And if I was them, I'd be like,
what about me?
What about us, guys?
Come on, we're here.
Guys, what about us?
So I think into their last match, they were probably pretty upset. I think that helped them win, that fueled them.
True.
So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to carry that alpha energy, that ego, that anger into this game to be able to win it.
Alpha energy might be something they need because this roster has had a pretty good game plan that kept changing, but it looks like this is the time that it's finally come together. As a team, they're starting to finally click. Feels like a lot of those foundational problems they were having, they're not really having anymore. The peaks are good, the comps are good, the roster's looking solid.
Yeah, I think ever since that 2-1 against Furia, we started to see them kind of come together as a team. I think a big part of that was going and like back to basics, having just a clean slate, forgetting whatever happened in their previous start of the year or their previous rosters, and trying to find out who they are with these new players, with this new team, and trying to figure out what works best for them. And I think it was a journey, but we're starting to see glimpses of, oh my God, we kind of know who they are as a team now.
Guys, they had Demon 1 on KJ. Like something was going wrong. I'm really happy they have one of the best chamber players in the world back on chamber. I think it looks really good on them.
Yeah, I agree. Envy is really coming back after a rough spot, and you know, I wonder where did they get this much of inspiration, you know?
Oh, what does that mean, huh? What's with the horn?
I don't know. They're kind of looking like someone else out there, you know?
Similarities?
I think so. Yeah. I think they took some inspirational. Obviously, there's merit to be able to play that kind of comp.
Yeah.
But you know, they're kind of running stuff that are kind of similar to another team, you know?
Yeah. Like what kind of team are we talking about? Like just any, like a playoffs team specifically, or?
Oh wait, actually, we played that. Was it SRG?
Yeah. No, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Well, the addition of Glyph to the Envy roster has been a big plus, and he stepped up because he is the IGL now. He's taking that role, and it looks like he's fixing a lot of the things that are going wrong.
Listen, I feel like when we're talking about, you know, Envy's come up here, we've been looking at a lot of the comp changes they've had, you know, like Demon back on that chamber and figuring out Kesnet on that main duelist. But I think a big part of it has been their overall macro plans. I feel like when I'm watching them play, they're not just doing stuff for fun. They're not doing stuff at random. And I think Glyph is a huge part of that with his calling, especially setting up these star players on their respective roles, either going for those chamber first kills or going for those openers and taking space with Kesnet. And not only that, but I think that we're actually seeing him have great reads. I think going up against M80, he was predicting a lot of the time what they were going to do, and that's something we expected out of M80 more than Envy. So it was really refreshing to see.
Not only were their macro ideas really good, when we listened into their comp, they're actually playing together now.
Yes,
they're talking to each other, they're swinging together, they're calling 3-2-1s. Like, I feel like they're just a new team, a new identity with the Glyph IGL.
Well, let's actually send it to Golden Boy and hear from Kesnet about the way that Envy's playing.
All right, here with Kesnet as well as Jen for translations, and want to ask you, Envy really looks like they're turning the page, especially after that win against M80. Massive win for you guys. Is that the feeling in the team that you guys are finding your identity in this meta finally?
Creo que sí, nos estamos adaptando relativamente muy bien en el meta y obviamente hoy día tenemos un partido muy difícil, pero creo que hoy día nos vamos a demostrar un muy buen equipo como somos en práctica.
Yes, we've really been adapting to this new meta, and today we have a new match, but hopefully we're going to adapt well and do well today in this match.
All right, well, I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing what Envy could do, of course.
Well, adapting to the meta is definitely something that they've been doing, and they've been looking a lot more confident. But speaking of confidence, we're actually looking at two of the most confident players from both of these rosters that are facing off today. Today we'll get to see Redux and Kesnet face off. Both these players going absolutely insane for their respective teams. The firepower is there. I mean, both these players, they're just looking so good.
I feel like having two superstar duelist one-tapper players in a match always makes for a fun game and a fun series. I'm really excited to see who can, you know, take that MVP spot this match.
Yeah, I think Kesnet's really been stepping up. I think he's a player that when you look at how Envy used to play, he was always kind of finding that aggression right off the bat, but a lot of that time he would be separated away from his team. But now that they are playing more like a team, he's honestly thriving. I think he has a good balance of knowing when to use his teammates' utility to get set up, to go for these first picks and take space, exactly like this round. Like, it was beautiful against M80. But also, I think he's great at kind of having his own time on when he wants to just go aggro on his own.
Also, a really fun thing to see that it's like another generation battle, I'd say. Like, Kesnet's been there for a long time, and Redux has been coming out recently. So it is really interesting to see how these two duelists coming from different generations play against each other.
And how do you feel in the server against them? Who's the most annoying one to play against? You gotta let us know.
Man, I think I'd say Kesnet is probably the more annoying, because you know it's always a difficult thing to keep players from like hyping up. There's some players that whenever they get momentum, they kind of turn the entire match, and I feel like Kesnet is one of them.
They get that momentum and the ball rolling. But on the other side, the Sentinel squad seems to have become more defined as the year progresses. It seems like both these teams are on the come up, but Sentinels, they're just a tiny bit of a step ahead because they had a couple more successful games when it came to this stage. And of course, it feels like their identity has shifted.
Yeah, I think part of it was probably like there was the issue where John QT had to step out because of surgery. And after that, they did talk about how the team became much closer and much more vocal after that because they were lacking the IGL. And this might be reason to why Sentinels has had such a big improvement.
Yeah, giving a lot more comms, giving a lot more information, and being able to always play off of each other is really important.
And I think you're right. That really helped with them kind of meshing together, and I think that's something that we've seen keep on progressing throughout their past few matches. I think when you're looking at Sen, they are honestly on their way to become a very strong unit. It feels like going into it, they always have great game plans. It really just comes down to those micro decisions.